Eazy died overnight.
Well, that's what I was saying. It seemed like
it just.
What's that from the Brady Bunch too? They said he checked out fast.
He checked out fast.
Yeah.
Them first, listen, when Magic lived, everybody was looking. I just see Magic give blood the other week. Yeah.
There are some people that don't. There are some people that don't believe. Hold on. There's some people that don't believe he died of AIDS, though.
Who?
Easy. There's some people that don't believe he died of AIDS.
That's another conspiracy.
Yeah.
You see when
you from LA? What's the
Suge came on? Was it Jimmy Kimmel? And he was like, "Yeah, we hit him with the one needle with the Eazy-E." He was laughing about it. So people was like, "Oh shit."
But the Suge was probably trolling or something, right?
Maybe so. I don't know.
Nah,
I don't know why. You just don't be believing.
Because how do you
science.
do like? All right, let's walk through this. You know somebody in the hood that got AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, give me a little bit of that. What the fuck? Yo, here, give me a little bit of blood. Why would you even take the risk, my nigga? Like the way that shit was back then, you really would have held a needle in your pocket.
I mean, if you high,
waiting
trying to look
for
for that high,
like,
you probably not even worried about that. You want to get high.
No. I'm saying the nigga that's gonna
use it.
The assassin nigga.
Listen,
bruh, all it takes is one slip.
Yes.
And it's you.
And it's you. You know what I'm saying?
But they probably had some.
Or
you think a nigga really gonna risk that? Like,
think about it. Think about it a different way.
Niggas making murder mosquitoes.
No.
They probably had that shit back then.
Nigga trip and fall. You done.
You think about it a different way, Hoffa.
You're like,
no. What if you find that got AIDS and go, yo, listen. I'll give you 100,000. You knock this nigga off right here. All you gotta do is find.
What are you gonna do? You gonna
easy? Yo,
not easy.
Listen,
not easy.
Nah, because it was a death sentence back then.
I don't really want to tell the story, but
tell the story.
I got no, because my man he's not a good person. He's still good people to me, but all right, my man was JoJo. You know JoJo?
Allegedly.
Nah, JoJo.
Yeah. This sound like an allegedly.
Nah, this not allegedly. You want to know how allegedly this was? They had all the white girls on Montel. My man, they wrote laws behind my man. My man, we was all hustling out of town, and a white girl gave the nigga AIDS. So what did this nigga do? He gave all of upstate New York AIDS.
On purpose.
Wow.
They had all the white girls on Montel. Every one of them.
Wow.
They arrested him. They locked him up, put him in jail, but there was no law for him. They had to write a law behind him.
Wow.
What?
Suge, what happened? What happened with Suge?
Like what?
The whole thing. Like, I mean, for me personally, I think the world want to know. Like, we watched him go from, one of hip hop's top moguls to now locked away. Was that a conspiracy? Was he set up for someone he was, that was right with you? Like, what's your whole take on what happened with Suge?
I just think Suge, man, when I look back at some of the things he did, I understand him. You know what I mean? He was really in those offices like, you're not about to enslave me. You know what I mean? You're not about to treat me like the that makes jungle music and you got to deal with me just because the records are selling. You're going to respect me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were anti that. And I personally feel when he got out of jail after serving his 6-year sentence, I feel like it was almost like a secret meeting took place that said, hey, we can't let him get no more power. You know what I mean? Because he still had all the money in the world. He had enough juice to do whatever he wanted to, as far as publicity goes and promotion goes, but a lot of other doors were shut. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when him and Irv and Jay Prince said that they were going to create a distribution company for the culture, that's when it was like, we got to stop these guys. We can't allow that. And then things start falling like dominoes. Everybody starts catching cases. It seems like it. It feels like it. I could be totally wrong, but he did allow me to sit in meetings with him when he was in meetings with top players in the game. You know what I'm saying? And it was way different than I thought it would be. I thought the East hated Suge. When I came over here my first time with Suge, knowing what happened between Tupac and Biggie, I was like, man, we gonna be ducking bullets when we get over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was surprised to find out that a lot of people had love for Suge because of what he represented as a black man and a mogul.
Yeah, my opinion of Suge changed over the years.
You know what I'm saying? And that's and I was able to see a lot. I sat in offices with whoever you want to think about, and I just played the wall and got to just pick up game. He was smart with the business. He was really smart. He knew how to get the money for the art. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, a couple of different decisions and he'd be here right now. You know what I mean? But like I said, I always got love for him because he did something that Joel said a lot of other labels wasn't doing. They wasn't trying to come and help us, take us out of the fucking trenches. You know what I mean? And he did it. He didn't waste no time. I almost signed the Aftermath while I was having conversation with Dr. Dre when I was young. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And Dre was like, yo, you know, a couple, you know, my homie Big C Style took me over there. And Dre was putting out King T. This is right before he signed M. And I jumped on the King T album. I'm a teenager. And, you know, Suge, when he asked me to come visit him in the penitentiary, and I went up to go visit him, he was like, yo, I got a contract and a check right now. I don't know what everybody else waiting on. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, okay, well, shit, let me check the contract out. We did our deal on the napkin, different shit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I saw how people treated him in there because this was the point of his incarceration where he had contact visits. So we sitting at the table, people coming up to you, man, thanks, man. My mom, she was able to have that surgery, you know what I'm saying? That money you gave me, you know, that really helped out. And somebody else come up, man, hey, man, thanks, man. My brother got, you know what I mean? And they, you know, they had love for him and he was helping people out even in there. And that was another thing I asked him. I said, why you don't never talk about all the good shit you do? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, I ain't tripping. But we was rebuilding nurseries. Every Christmas on death row, we used to take $25,000, $50,000 worth of toys to the children's sick ward and U-Hauls and go give them to the sick kids. You know what I mean? He was doing
this is what we need to hear.
Yeah, he was doing a lot in the community. On Father's Day, he chartered out buses and took them to Compton and put all the children who had an incarcerated father in the bus and took them to go see their father on Father's Day.
Look at that.
That's deep. You see what I'm saying?
The world need to hear this part of Suge. Because, people don't know this. For whatever reason, the narrative is being painted out to destroy his character.
Yeah, he did a lot of great things, man. He did a lot of great things. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So
I'm glad you asked that.
Because that's he's someone else that I've watched in the media for whatever reasons. They're destroying him. You know, they let him rock many years. It was all right what he was doing, but now for whatever reasons he's being destroyed, murdered, assassinated. Yeah. And this man could speak on who he is.
Yeah, real talk. That shit is real.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember we had that discussion the last time we sat down.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I look at Suge in a totally different light.
I never met Suge Knight, right? And so you hear all this Suge Knight, and I don't care what they say. I didn't grow up with Suge Knight. You worked for the source. So you, my man, I will let you state your opinion on this, because you was around, right? They was not scared of Suge Knight. They was terrified of Suge Knight.
Right.
I mean, terrified.
I know.
No. To death.
To death. Wow.
Okay, I'm not talking, I mean, so I'm at the Vibe Awards.
Facts.
And this nigga walk in. This is the first time I'm with my wife, right? Suge Knight walked in. He just walked in, bro. Walked in with a cigar by himself. Alicia Keys start running. Russell Simmons, no action, nigga. No business. Niggas is running, niggas is getting up out of there. Every New York killer, whatever you name, all these niggas that was like the niggas they write books about and put in movies, niggas was running to the back. Niggas was terrified of this nigga, right? Facts. Now it's the first time I see Suge Knight.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm Suge Knight and I'm in LA, I'll come smack the shit out of Fat Joe for no reason. Like, just 'cause he ain't in New York, he's supposed to be some tough nigga. I'll come over there and get the shit popping. Right. Plus, I'm at the Vibe Awards. Niggas got suits on with your wife. You ain't even on.
Yeah.
He walks around the whole thing. Everybody's scared to death. He got a cigar. Niggas is running. Niggas is this. He comes up to me. Big homie. Been waiting to meet you my whole life. Real nigga. Holy shit, we got the straps. Yo, this is unbelievable. This is the niggas in New York who been waiting to see Fat Joe get smashed. They like, Jesus Christ. No. And anybody who was scared was like, oh no, Joey ain't gonna fold, nigga. It's on, nigga, like it's on. This the shit we wanna see.
Right.
This is fucking, what's your man, Ric Flair and fucking Bruno Sammartino, nigga.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Ric Flair.
He comes up to me. Out of all things, he goes, big homie.
Bang.
Been waiting to meet you all my life. Real nigga. Niggas was like, oh my God. Niggas was, and 2 seconds later, that shit happened with Dr. Dre. You seen the 4-4 when I was like, you know, they snuffed your boss. That was all like.
It's crazy.
It was I was narrating what was going on. But same type of situation where I knew niggas who ain't, because hey, there's Democrats, there's Republicans.
Right.
There's niggas who love Fat Joe, there's niggas that hate Fat Joe.
Right.
The niggas that hate Fat Joe who can't tell you they hate Fat Joe, they waiting for some shit like that.
Yeah.
And they like, oh my God.
The cowards.
And yo, and Suge was a major terrorist back then. Puffy threw a party and he was at that joint at the top of the stack.
But here's the funny thing, because we had Tretch in that same seat, and he told us a story of being on tour with Bad
Tretch
Boy.
is a real nigga.
That's the bro. That's the bro.
Too real. There's a couple of real niggas. He's one. In the industry, from what I know about the young niggas, obviously they real because they killing everything out here allegedly, right? But from my era, he's one of the real ones. MOP, they the real ones.
So think about, you gotta watch how you talk to people. That's like in the hood. If you was in prison, you gonna communicate in love, or you gonna be fighting. Right or wrong?
Right.
Okay. On the streets, if you don't communicate in love, you gonna be fighting.
Okay, well, communicating respect.
Love.
Love.
It's two different words.
Right.
It's two different words. It's two different words.
Just saying, you know. But communicating in love, is that similar to when you got out west and Suge Knight was like, oh,
I communicated in love.
Can you tell us about that story?
I communicated in love. That's what it was. I communicated in love.
It makes sense because we never heard you.
Because think about it. I respect the man. Right. He doing something what a lot of black men are not doing. Just because he locked up, I'm not gonna bash him or throw him under the bus. Right. I'm telling you, like, you had a used car. You told me what you wanted for it. I gave you what you wanted for it, and everything else was love. That was it. We went on about our business. Other people probably couldn't understand it, but I respect it because this a black man that did something with a label like Death Row, right?
Right.
So I end up signing Snoop. Snoop was a student of mine, and now he ended up being a teacher, and he went back and built his thing up and brought Death Row Records.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, everybody was amazed because it was unheard of. Like,
because you don't know how to communicate in love.
That was hilarious.
It's at the time when everybody was pretty much terrified of Suge Knight, you were able to get Snoop off of his label. and On to Yours. Last Meal, Salute. That's one of my favorite Snoop albums.
Yeah.
We stay on point like Stacey Adams. That's my shit.
Yeah.
Losing Control. That's like if I go through something, I'm playing that all day long. It's gonna help me go through it. You know what I mean? In that process, there were a lot of people complaining. Okay, Snoop is with Master P now. We don't understand the sound, because at first he was on a lot of your records.
Yeah.
And then you were able to bring Dr. Dre. You let Dr. Dre come back into the picture.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Communicated in love.
You recently had an interview with Suge Knight.
We promoted it. It didn't come out.
Sure. Why didn't it come out?
They didn't want it to come out.
Who's they?
I guess it was Suge and Dave Mays. At first, they said they wanted the interview to air in its entirety, and then they said not to put it out.
Why not?
So it was me and Mano, and I told Mano, I said, Mano, you need to be on this Suge interview. Suge had the podcast Collect Call. And I know Mano, you know, he played the guy who shot, Tupac in the movie. And then I know he watches all those documentaries. And so I was like, okay, this will be good, because I know he'll be interested in it, and we'll do this interview. And then when Suge called in, it was Dave Mays and Suge on the call. And I know you know Dave Mays from The Source. But so anyway, when he called in, you know, the first thing Mano did was ask him, was he in PC?
Shout to Mano, Big Brooklyn shit.
Yo, Mano was on hot. Shout out, my boy.
To be honest, I didn't know that was a bad thing. You know me, I don't know anything about that.
That's definitely a hostile
pussy custody.
That's disrespect.
I said, look, put me in PC if something happened. I would like to be in PC, thank you. But I didn't know it was a bad thing.
Turn down service?
That was the first thing. And then, you know, so that got a little animated. And then after that.
In what way?
I don't think Suge liked that question. So then he started, you know, telling Mano he would be in PC if he was in jail. And Mano was like, I was in jail. So it turned into a whole thing. And then another thing, Mano was like, what did he ask him? He said, did you lose some of the mystique? Because you got knocked out a couple of times.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Ja, Full Green.
Yeah. And so so that turned into something, and then, you know, it just continued to go from
So it was
there.
hostile off the rip.
It was a hostile interview, and I think at first they said we want the whole thing out, not edit it, and then they said don't put it out at all.
I don't think those was bad questions, though.
Because of the way it would be.
It wasn't bad questions, though. If you think about it,
I'm
those
gonna be
were
honest,
simple
they didn't tell me what the real issue was, so I'm not sure, you know, and at first they were fine with it, but then I guess, you know, maybe they reconsidered. I don't know what the reason is for that.
Yo, what's up, Suge? You in PC or you in general pop? It's a bad question.
And don't they sometimes put you in PC? I don't know.
Wait.
Sometimes, hold on.
You could request.
Wait. Let the experts.
Let me ask you guys. Let's ask our people.
We don't need to speculate. We got the people.
Talk to the jailologist. We're gonna talk to the jailologist. So he could have went into PC under involuntary PC, IPC, because he's a celebrity, meaning that the administration or the officers there would say, okay, we know you're a celebrity. There's gonna be a lot of attention on you. You need to be over here. That's IPC, involuntarily.
Right.
PC is when you sign up for it. When you go into the jail and intake, and they ask you a shitload of questions. You got any enemies? Yada yada yada. And then you sign that paper and say, I want to sign into PC. They don't just throw you in the PC unless they feel there's a need to. But there's PC and then there's IPC, which is involuntary.
Okay.
All right. So someone like Suge, who definitely ended up in jail because of some shit that would definitely follow him into the jail system. Is that a bad thing for him to be in PC?
What do you mean, signing up for it, or the administration putting them in there?
Administration putting them in there.
No.
But can you sign yourself out? You can.
Because that's what happened with R. Kelly. R. Kelly went into, and they put him into PC.
I still saw them pressure him to sing. Right? Didn't they pressure R. Kelly?
He was locked in the closet.
Oh my God, a rubber.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But that wouldn't be acceptable because he's a gang member.
saying? So
Right.
that's
true.
another image that he
part.
got to live up to. You know, he's
Right.
a gang member, so that's not acceptable at all.
But it's not
it's
your. If they put you in there involuntarily, there's nothing you could do.
You could
about
sign
it.
out.
You can sign
Like
out
after 30 days, you can sign out.
Oh, after 30 days, okay.
Right.
So that would be his decision to say, all right, I don't want to be here.
The question is he there though? He never answered
Yeah,
that.
he never answered
I
it.
thought he said he
Because
wasn't.
he probably is
He
there.
never. He ain't answer it.
Okay.
He didn't
I
answer.
mean, if he's in there, what if he just wants to be left alone?
You want to
Sounds
read the
like
Bible?
Yeah.
Obviously don't want to be left alone. He's doing a podcast from jail.
No, he still wants attention. That don't mean he don't want to be left alone.
Right.
And I think part of it, they said he wants to just be positive, you know. But I see like a lot of stuff is, you know, the Akon stuff and the Warren G and like, yeah. So I don't know. But I guess we'll see because he is still doing this podcast. So I don't know if it's something he'll address. But Mano definitely wanted it to come out.
Yeah, hell yeah, Big Brooklyn. Yeah, put that shit out.
Mano was for sure like, I'm from where Biggie's from.
That's right.
And another thing that Suge said was that he would have wanted Biggie and Pac to do an album together called Frenemies.
That'd have been dope. That'd have been dope.
Terrible name.
Yeah.
Terrible name? What you would have named it? What you would have named it?
I feel like Nick Cannon, didn't Nick Cannon have a song called Frenemies?
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon, what? The fuck?
No,
Who listens to
I
Nick
think Jim
Cannon's
Jones
music?
has a song called Frenemies.
Ooh, come on. Don't do it.
Man, they diss him all the time on Wild Out about his music, man.
Yeah, but
I think he did.
Come on, man. I love Nick Cannon, man.
Somebody
Yo.
listens to it.
And that nigga got Matter of fact, you're right. I'm a gigolo.
That was my shit,
Yeah, that's my shit.
Front. I
That's my
fuck
shit.
that shit right there.
Got so many hoes.
Y'all niggas
That's
got
my shit.
Listen.
Y'all popping shit because I'm playing Guy.
Pop
and then
that
you
shit
start
all you
singing
want.
Gigolo.
When one
Music
of Nick
tasters.
Cannon's Killer 16 come looking for you.
It is what it is,
Yeah,
man. That
man.
means God decided my fate.
Talking about my dad, we're gonna kill you. Niggas.
Charlie Clip's going black on you, bro.
When you was on Death Row, was there friction between you and Snoop?
Yeah. Yeah, it was friction, you know what I'm saying? But
Did y'all ever make records about each other? Was it?
yeah, he you know, and it's crazy now because, you know, I feel like me and him are in a better place than we probably ever been since I known him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And M and Snoop had a little snag, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of M's fans follow me. And they talk to me on Twitter every day.
Right.
And they went digging for the old records that I had and Snoop had about me, you know what I'm saying, and I had about him.
Oh, they rehashed
They
it.
try to rehash it, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
because they just wanted some sort of feud going on,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Because, yo, you know, but it's crazy because I told Suge, you know, I said, Suge, man, I'm not going to diss Snoop. I told him this, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm not going to diss Snoop. You know what I mean? Snoop is from Long Beach, California, and I'm from the east side.
Right.
Snoop from the east side, man. I said, I got respect for Snoop. I'm not going to diss Snoop, dog. You know, I'm just not. And Suge, he always respected me. I don't know why Suge liked me so much, dog, but he just really did.
Right.
I was young, you know, he took a real liking to me, and he's like, all right. He said, but you know what? They going to diss you first. And then you're going to have to do something. And he just started laughing and walked off. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what happened?
And that's what happened. You know, they had a
Snoop took
mixtape.
the first shot.
Yeah, they had a mixtape called Welcome to the Church House. And I don't know which volume it was, but it took a few shots.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to send them back. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to play.
You know what I'm saying?
It's time to play.
Yeah, so it was.
Were you disappointed? I mean, being like, you know, we started this interview off with you being 17 in the booth and Snoop never having to hit that button. So I know the love was there. The respect was there.
Yeah.
Lyrically. Did you feel like he kind of knew what kind of monster you was and he was like, oh, nah, I ain't going to let him take the first shot. I'm going to let it go.
Nah, he might have been on some bomb first. You know?
Word. Nah, Pop done showed me this, dog. I'm a bomb first.
I'm a bomb first on this little nigga. You know, I'm finna establish something fast.
Right.
Chin check him, you know.
Right.
And I was disappointed, dog, because I fuck with him.
Right.
I fuck with Snoop. I fuck with the Dog Pound. I fuck nigga. Everybody can't be in the city, everybody in the city cannot be signed to Snoop Dogg,
Right.
or part of Snoop Dogg's label and movement.
Right.
There has to be other people to establish their own lane. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was like, yo, dog, I'm just. Some niggas work at Burger King, some work at McDonald's, bro. I'm just over here at Death Row Records.
Yeah.
I know what it is with you and Suge. I mean, I'm taking heat too. I walk into the office, and it's a parking lot full of niggas who hate Long Beach niggas waiting in that motherfucker. And I'm the only nigga over there from the city now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So the pressure's on you regardless.
Yeah, the pressure is on me too. So I'm hitting the pressure from them, from the inside and the outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm like, yo, I ain't really wanted to go there because it was like, yo, I fuck with them. Been knowing them. Everybody that, make the beats to the motherfuckers cleaning up his office, I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I didn't really want to go there. But it just, they shot at me, so I shot back. You know what I'm saying? And that was that. But I'm glad we got past that.
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the way you need to surf.